Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. We're doing your new moon horoscope for the new moon in Taurus, which is happening on Tuesday, May 7, 2024 at 11:22 p.m. Eastern. That is 8:22 p.m. Pacific time at 18 degrees and 2 minutes of Taurus. If you guys are new here, my name is Leah, aka The Cosmic Rose. We do tarot, astrology, and spirituality here on my channel. Don't forget to hit the like button as well as subscribe so you can stay up to date on the current astrology as well as your all sign tarot horoscopes and other spiritual topics. Now, I generally do like the energy of this new moon. Some astrologers are saying that this is the best new moon of the astrological year. I don't know if I would go that far. It is a generally pretty positive new moon though. It is definitely a good new moon to set intentions, plant seeds, cultivation, bring things to life slowly and steadily, working at things, and also for unexpected changes. Remember that Uranus and Jupiter are still conjunct at the time of this new moon. This is May 7th, so we just had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on April 20th of 2024. So we still have to be expecting the unexpected with this Uranian energy, especially with Uranus conjunct this new moon in Taurus, and Jupiter is still close by. Jupiter is preparing to go into Gemini at the end of the month, and this starts a whole new year cycle for Jupiter. The good thing about this new moon is that the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus, so the moon does very well in the sign of Taurus. And we also have a pileup of planets in the sign of Taurus. We have 5 planets in Taurus, and 4 of those planets are in conjunction to this new moon. That said, for those of you that aren't aware of what a new moon energy is, new moons are new beginnings, or they're planting seeds or intentions or manifestations, or they're, new beginnings or new startings of cycles. It's the new lunar cycle. This is the very beginning of the cycle. Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac. It is fixed earth, and Taurus is really about cultivation. It is planting seeds, growth, and expansion, and slowly and steadily building towards something. Taurus energy is very fixed. Of all the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, I would say that Taurus is probably the most fixed of all of them, and it is ruled by planet Venus, so that is going to be the ruler of this new moon. The fact that this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happened in the sign of Taurus really goes against what Taurus is about. Taurus is really about taking things slow and steady. It really doesn't like change, and it really enjoys routine. So this is an energy that's been ongoing since the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and before, as it was approaching, of breaking up that Taurus energy of needing to be in a routine or doing things the same way over and over again. This is about changing up that routine. But Taurus really wants to slow that change down and wants us to get grounded into the earth and really ground into that energy of Gaia and Taurus season. There has been a lot of chaotic energies, ethereally, astrologically, and just generally in the world. So this is a really great time to get grounded and to get clear on setting intentions for the rest of the astrological year. We can plant seeds or manifestations or whatever you want to call it on projects we want to cultivate for the rest of the year or things we want to accomplish for the rest of the year. Also keep in mind that Taurus is a sign of sensual enjoyment. So indulging in the sensual pleasures of life can very much be enjoyed during this new moon, and we can cultivate a sense of just being at peace. I'd really like to emphasize just keeping it simple during this new moon, slowing it down, and just enjoying the natural rhythms of life and nature. Now, this is in the second decan of Taurus, being that it is at 18 degrees and 2 minutes, but being in the second decan of Taurus, this is ruled by Mercury and the 6 of Pentacles tarot card. Now, when we talk about the 6 of Pentacles tarot card, the 6 of Pentacles tarot card is really a card of reciprocity. We go from the 5 of Pentacles when they are basically wounded and limping outside of the church and looking for help, but they're oblivious to the fact that they're outside of a church. And then we go to the 6 of Pentacles where the person or the figures in the card actually have enough resources to give back to other people. So this is about giving and receiving. People helped you out in the past. Eventually those people that were outside of the church looking for help went inside the church to get help, and now they are back on their feet and they're able to give back to other people. So the 6 of Pentacles tarot card really reminds us of generosity, giving back to people that have given to us, and giving and receiving, and being able to do both, and sharing our wealth or whatever we have with others, even if that's just our energy or a smile. Now, before we dive into the aspects, I do want to mention that this is a little bit of a shaken up new moon just because it is going to be conjunct to Uranus. And as we've been talking about, the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction just happened on April 20th, which we are still under the effect of. But being that Uranus is conjunct this new moon, it's really shaking up that Taurian energy even more so. So these are new beginnings or new cultivations that might come somewhat unexpectedly or might be in a way that you weren't necessarily anticipating. I talk about this a lot, but Uranian Uranian energy. We can't really pin down. We can't really predict anything with Uranian energy just because it's the rebel planet and it's so off the wall. It rules Aquarius, right? Like the weirdo of the zodiac. But this is just also, it could be like lightning inspiration that's grounded into the earth very quickly. So we're able to make something tangible out of thin air. So that is something to keep in mind. These could be very random happenings, just very random new beginnings or very random bursts of insight that are coming to you that are made tangible in 3D reality in a very real way because we're in Taurus. Even though it is likely to have some sort of exhilarating type energy, it's still very grounded and positive, and there's positive movement forward. This is the best time of the astrological year moving forward. So we have a lot of great things to look forward to. So let's dive into the aspects. All right, guys. So we have this new moon in lovely Taurus happening at 18 degrees and 2 minutes down here. And we have, of course, the sun and the moon are always going to be together, conjunct for a new moon. And we have Uranus closely conjunct here at 22 degrees and 47 minutes of Taurus. Then we have Jupiter at 25 at 47, and Jupiter will move into the sign of Gemini on May 23rd, if you guys want to take a note of that. And we also have Venus here. So those are the 5 planets, or of course, the sun and the moon are luminaries in the sign of Taurus right now. We also have Mercury, which is direct now at 21 degrees of Aries on top of Chiron, the North Node at 15 Aries, and Mars at 5 Aries. We have Neptune now at the last degree of the zodiac. Now, keep in mind, Neptune will retrograde, won't move into Aries until next year. But this is a very prominent degree point. It's the very last degree. So the 29th degree of any sign is going to be important, but the 29th degree of Pisces is exceptionally important. Then we also have Saturn, which is moving extremely fast. Now it's 17 degrees of Pisces. And we have Pluto, which is retrograde now and is at 2 degrees of Aquarius and will retrograde back into Capricorn for the very last time of our entire lives on September 1st to be exact, and we'll go direct and then move back into Aquarius at the end of the year. By the way, guys, I hope you can hear me because I am using a different mic and I am obviously not doing the video portion of this aspect portion of the reading or of the horoscope because I have not figured out how to use a program to be able to record the video. When I did it on the last video, I had to record on my phone the video of myself, and then I was screen recording on my laptop and I had to overlay them, and it was just a giant mess. So as soon as I can figure out how to do it on the software that I have to do it, I just have to teach myself how to do it. I'm sure it's not that hard, but hopefully you guys can hear me. This isn't the best mic, but it is a mic nonetheless. So yeah, let's just dive into this. Now, I also want to mention, guys, that when we're talking about Taurus, Taurus is a sign that is very much related to money and banking. So when we're talking about anything related to the Taurus Scorpio axis, there could be potentials for things happening in finance, in investments, things of that nature. I would not be surprised if there is developments in banking or in finance. So banking and finance. If you guys know me, you guys know I can't spell. So, but here is our new moon down here at 18 degrees and 2 minutes of Taurus. And we have that stellium going on. But first and foremost, I want to talk about the conjunction to Uranus. So the conjunction to Uranus is going to be the most prominent aspect here. We know that Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, so it's disposited by this Pluto down here at 2 degrees of Aquarius, which is retrograde, but that's a story for another time. We're not talking about that right now. This conjunction to Uranus, though, guys, is really highlighting on that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which we had on April 20th. And when we talk about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, you guys can go back and watch the videos that I made about that conjunction, but these developments and breakthroughs and changes that the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction are or have implemented are going to come to culmination over the next 12 years as Jupiter goes around the zodiac and we get to that opposition point. That would be like the full moon, right? When you're talking about any planets, like when they come together for a conjunction, that would be their new moon. So The developments of that transit are going to conspire over the next 6 years, come to culmination over the next 6 years, and then they will dissipate over the following 6 years as Jupiter comes back to that exact spot in Taurus. But when we're talking about a conjunction with the new moon, what is a new moon? A new moon is, some sort of new beginning. It's new emotional beginnings because it is the sun and the moon. But this is in Taurus. This is about cultivation and it's about growth. It could be about currency and banking and finance and investments. It can be about things related to agriculture and food. It can also be things related to like growth or planting seeds, our values, because it's, Venus is the ruler of this new moon. And Venus is right here in Taurus as well. Oops. Venus is right here, and that's the ruler. But, this is change. Uranus is change. Uranus equals change. An unexpected change at that, because, Uranus is the rebel planet and he just does whatever he wants to do. He's the ruler of Aquarius. We never really know. Taurus is routine. So this Uranian energy conjunct this new moon is like unexpected new beginnings, or like very erratic new beginnings that we aren't expecting, or that come out of left field, or that we cannot predict, happening at all. So definitely look and see where 18 degrees of Taurus is in your particular chart to see how this might be affecting you. This is really like a change of plans or a change of values, because Venus is value. And it's also self-worth. Self-worth is theme of the second house and or Taurus. So these could be self-worth new beginnings. I could definitely see that being very prominent for the collective, and I think that's a great intention to set, like new values within yourself and what you can achieve, what you can plant for the future, and what you can cultivate within yourself. Think of like self care, self actualization, and restructuring yourself, finding peace, going out in nature. Also, expansion. Uranus is a very expansive energy, as well as Jupiter's right there too. Jupiter's really the expansion planet. But with the two right there, this is like unexpected expansion. And it's like some sort of new beginning energy, or, setting intentions or manifestations, whatever word you want to use. It doesn't really matter. But it's a change in our plans, or a change in our routines, or a change in our values, or what we value, and setting intentions on that. Now, when we're talking about Uranus as well, oops, there can also be a tendency to really have like subconscious impulsiveness in a lot of ways, but this can also bring about lots of psychic and intuitive downloads, like I was saying in the intro. This could be like intuitive messages coming extremely fast. This is, taking a chance on a new beginning as well, or having sudden like revelations or realizations, and seeing the bigger picture of things, or seeing the long term, seeing the future. Uranus is the future, right? So Uranus is able to see things from a new perspective in regards to some sort of new beginning that you're cultivating for yourself. Now, Taurus is really going to want to ground out this energy. I would say that using like more ration or logic or overthinking things are not going to be the move, guys. Do not overthink things. It's okay to ground out your energy. In fact, Taurus wants you to ground out your energy. I'm just going to write that here. Ground your energy. Okay, root chakra. It's root chakra stuff right here. I wouldn't say that logic and ration or overthinking are going to be beneficial for you, but if you are tending to overthink things, or you're like trying to be too logical or analytical and you're not able to listen to your intuition, as contradictory as it sounds, ground your energy. Go put your feet on the earth, or ground your energy through meditation or eating root vegetables, something like that. But definitely, in order to channel the energy from this new moon, you're going to need to ground and be in nature in some way, shape, or form. Also, creative inspirations could come through these, or ideas could surface through tapping into these energies, through grounding your energy, or getting creative, or doing something different in some way, shape, or form. This could also be a need to have some sort of emotional freedom or emotional expression with Uranus and the moon here. Now, this new moon is making a sextile over to Saturn at 17 degrees of Pisces. And I actually really like this. This is a very supportive energy. And with Saturn here, Saturn Saturn is a lot of things, but this is really grounding out some sort of emotions we might be having, or, you know, the moon in Taurus, as it is exalted and does very well in the sign of Taurus because it's grounding our emotions. We're able to control our emotions. So that sextile to Saturn in Pisces is supportive even more so from a spiritual perspective. It's like grounding your spiritual and intuitive downloads into the 3D, into the tangible, so that you can cultivate them into something physical, right? This is a really great issue for solving problems or issues and tapping into your spiritual abilities to solve those issues. Okay. Saturn and Pisces, I always say, is like our spiritual integrity, but it also deals, Pisces deals with our subconscious and like our shadows. And Saturn is like the Grim Reaper. He's like the angry grandfather figure, and he's coming in there to like make things right and to get everything in order and get everything tip top shape. And Pisces doesn't like that. So there's an element of Saturn and Pisces where they're really like, hey, get your shit in order. But this is really a supportive energy to this new moon, because it's like, where have we been out of alignment spiritually? We need to like get our stuff together, get ourselves emotionally together so that we can cultivate something new in some way, shape, or form in the Taurus area of your chart. This is like spiritual discipline and having control over any actions that you're taking moving forward. This is also to do with like family. It could be family or soul family with Saturn and Pisces, family, soul family, and some sort of like practical care for others. It deals with that Six of Pentacles energy that we were talking about in the intro as well. All right, guys, I think I've had enough of the writing on the screen. We're going to switch back over to my movable chart here. But next aspect I want to talk about is Venus, of course. This is a loose conjunction. It's 8 degrees. I usually, if I was doing like a personal reading or if I was looking at transiting astrology for myself or other people, I personally don't use an 8-degree orb, especially for Venus, but it's worth mentioning just because it's there. A lot of astrologers do use 8 degrees. So Venus conjunct the sun, this is a very social energy. It's very, sensual and pleasure based. This is heightening our creativity, and it can heighten all types of things, including our, finances, banking, investments, harmony, peace, being around good people, good environments. Just be careful of overindulgence, of course, with all this Taurus energy, especially with Jupiter and Taurus in general. But this is enhancing, the feel good energy. It's a great energy for like dating or romance, improving any existing relationships, love, just getting out there, having fun, being social, and enjoying life. This is like a great time to go to a concert or enjoy like, art or entertainment in some way, shape, or form. But it's also a very good like business energy. So do with that what you will. Now, the other big one I want to talk about is Mercury conjunct to Chiron. Now, I have made several videos about this. Go check out my TikTok if you want to see like little shorter clips about this, because, it's pretty important, because Mercury was retrograde and retrograded over Chiron and is now direct and came back over Chiron and has passed Chiron at the time of this new moon, but it's still, it's still a prominent energy. And with the North Node there still in orb of a conjunction, it's not, super close. Again, it's an asteroid. Chiron's an asteroid and the North Node. So, and Mercury is the fastest moving planet, but it's still important to note. And Chiron and Mercury are the same degree. So when we have Chiron on top of, or I'm sorry, Mercury on top of Chiron, this is, Chiron in Aries is the wound of our ego, or the wound of the self, or the wound of the child, or the wound of our motivation to get things done. There's a lot of different ways you can look at this. And this is like the story that we're telling ourselves. But since Mercury has retrograded over Chiron and then went direct and has came back over Chiron now, this is like rewriting the story or reframing the story or the understanding of yourself in some way, shape, or form. We're reintegrating the Aries qualities of ourselves, like assertiveness or independence, expression, things like that. Talk therapy could be very helpful for us, or talking with people about our wounds within ourselves, or parts of us that are vulnerable, or parts of us that don't feel very Aries-like, that don't feel like we're aggressive enough or have enough energy or independence or aren't, embodied in that Aries quality of life. Talking to other people could be helpful, journaling could be helpful, but really we're just rewriting the script that we aren't flawed in some way, shape, or form. Mars is also coming out of a sextile with Pluto. This is a very like warrior type energy. It's very like aggressive and cutthroat and willing to do what it needs to do to get what it needs to get, more or less. So look at the Aries area of your chart because that is very highlighted right now as well with all the energy that we've had in Aries and do still have in Aries. But it's sextiling to Pluto, which is retrograde in Aquarius. So this is some like sort of subconscious thing that has previously held us back that we're now able to use to our advantage moving forward. Then we have Jupiter, which is coming into a trine. This is still kind of a wider orb right now, but Jupiter's coming into a trine. It's got a 7-degree orb, and this aspect will be exact on June 2nd. So it's coming into a trine with Pluto, and to me, this was really some sort of rebirth. Even though Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius and will retrograde back into Capricorn, there's something here about increasing our personal power, and this could be through self-worth. I just got intuitively as well, but it's transformations towards the positive. Pluto is our transformation, it's our death and rebirth. And when Pluto is retrograde, this is really an internal transformation in some way, shape, or form. But Jupiter brings luck and benefic energy wherever it goes or whatever it's touching. So it's some sort of positive change. And I believe it's some sort of transformed outlook or rebirth or evolving into a more, satisfying era. And this is really, it could be satisfying gains financially. It could be like spiritual upgrades. It could be cultivating some sort of project or whatever, but definitely look and see where 25 degrees of Taurus is in your chart to see how this might be affecting you. But this is also, a very coming together energy or a cultivation energy. This could also be, Aquarius is a collective sign, and this could be changing our views on finance or how much value we place in finance or like cryptocurrencies or digital currencies, et cetera, et cetera. Taurus and Aquarius deals with like the internet or the people, and Taurus is very much finance oriented. So this could be changing our outlook or our view on finance in general in some way, shape, or form. And lastly, guys, I did want to mention that Jupiter is coming into a sextile with Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, and this aspect will be exact on May 23rd, actually. And, Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces. Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. So this is very Piscean energy, and sextiles are very supportive energy. So this is a very spiritual energy, and I think that utilizing the grounding energy of this new moon in Taurus is going to help ground out that spiritual, ethereal energy as this sextile is building throughout the month. But this is, lots of spiritual wisdom and spiritual growth that we're all cultivating collectively, especially as Neptune is at the last degree of the zodiac at 29 degrees of Pisces. And this is cultivation of like our dreams or our wildest dreams and like spiritual wisdom that's gained from the cultivation that we're getting or doing in the 3D. All right, that is all I have for you guys for the new moon in Taurus. Hopefully you guys could hear me okay with the audio, and I will hopefully figure out how to do the recording of the video and the screen at the same time on the software I have. I just have to teach myself how to do it. But anyways, I do think this energy is going to be very good for setting intentions. Just be sure to look at the around 18 degrees of Taurus in your birth chart to see which house that is, so you can set intentions according to the position of the new moon in your chart. If you have fixed sign placements, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, this will be a little bit more prominent energy for you. But of course, it is a new moon, so it's going to be affecting the collective collectively. If you guys want to book personal readings with me, you can email me or shoot me a DM on TikTok or Instagram. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon, and happy new moon. I love you.